Okay, I think this recording is working. My name is Rich Lighton. I am the founder of Precision Inventory Management. Appreciate Trevor giving us the chance to show you our service, and I thought a quick video here might be a good introduction, and we'd be happy, of course, to follow up with anyone afterwards and go through their specific data and talk through the process. But let me just give you kind of an introduction to the company, the process, and then how we go about building the right inventory for your stores. I have a background with Ford, only with Ford. I did 11 years factory and then been doing this for 18 years now. And it kind of all started, Ford has absolutely the best data available to its dealers, but it's in a format that's completely nearly useless. They've tried to create some numbers they put into Webdo and such, but almost no dealers use it. And it's unfortunate because if you can get through the data, it's amazing. And I'll show it to you here. And that's kind of how the company all started, is being able to use the data to make the right ordering decisions. Big picture, how it works is we take over all your stock vehicle orders. You do your wholesale with Ford, e-commitment. We provide a great forecast sheet that really helps you dial in what you need for the wholesale. You make those decisions, and then your job is done. You keep putting in your customer orders, but as far as stock orders, there's nothing else you need to do, whether SIMS orders or OTD body code selections. The whole process, depending on the vehicle line, has a different process, but we handle it all from there. And so the job is basically two parts. To get the right inventory is two parts. Number one is knowing what you want. The second part is how to get it. How do you get that inventory? And that deals with commodities, and I'll take you through both of those steps that we handle for you. And so process-wise, you do the wholesale, we take over, and you're up to date all along with all our decisions and our orders. We actually submit them. We don't give you the data or recommendations. We literally submit them, and you give us any guidance you want, and you'll always have an email with the orders before they're due, so you can always watch it as much as you want. In the beginning, guys, of course, will want to watch it more, and then over time we get on the same page, and guys, honestly, they just don't worry about it, and they're doing all their thing, and occasionally we'll get notes from them with some guidance. So let me take you through the data. This is the part on how do you know what you want or what is going to be the best, right? So inventory is all about aligning your stock, your inventory with demand. And this is how we figure out what demand is. But the fastest turning inventory is inventory that's perfectly aligned. If you could perfectly align your inventory with where the demand is going to be, you would have the fastest turning inventory. And so the goal is always to get as close to that as possible. So this is a random store in Canada, not a store that we order for, but I pulled it up and I want to show you how the data works and then how we make decisions off of it. So this is our software that we use internally that takes this raw data in a CSV format that's rough and can't really be used, and we organize it and we extract the good stuff that we want. So first of all, layout, you can see easily on the left, you've got your body codes, and you got the pink. In the pink and red is the 2-wheel drive, and then the 4-wheel drive you can see in order: XL, STX, XLT, Tremor, Lariat, right? So we have a 16-week sales history in this column here, with the total sales, the percentages, and then DOL is your days on the lot, right? Then you have your in stock, 40 in stock on these XLTs, 75 days on lot for those, incoming 25, total and mix. Now here's now you have your market as well. So your market is your 25 closest stores up to 200 miles, and that creates the market compiled market data. So how do you determine where demand is going to be? It all starts with volume, right? What are customers buying? But of course, all cars eventually sell, and so you don't want to chase slow sales. And so we start with volume, but then we adjust for speed and overstock. And I'll tell you how we do that. So you can see, for example, these XLTs, it's half the sales, 50% of the sales. But you can also see it's 59-day turn. Well, that happens to be the slowest body code outside of these platinums, I guess. And so it's going to get a hit for that. So, well, let's actually back up a little bit. So the dealer's selling 43% XLT, the market's selling 50. So we're kind of weighing between the two, and we create a target mix. That's that starting point, that 46%. on kind of a volume target. And then you adjust for speed. So we see that they're slower for the dealer and the market. So now it's going to get an adjustment down for them from that 46. And then we also look at what we call market heat. This is the overstock situation. And it's the most overstock body code. Obviously, overstock leads towards that slow sales. So it's selling at 50, stocking at 54. So now you're going to bump it down even further from that 46. So target mix might be in the low 40s there. So that's kind of how we start with it. And then we have these indicators that's variance to target, for example, just shows the difference between where this dealer is stocking 51 and that target mix of 46. But even then, we decided he wants to be even lower than that 46. But a lot of the wonder, the great stuff is how granular this data gets. And so then we can drill down into those specific body codes. I'm going to show you the Lariat and switch my screen here to the Lariat data for this store, which is right here. Okay, so now I actually filtered not only for Lariat, but 502. We can break down the data within each pet package. Now within the 502s, I have the take rate and the speed and the volume for every engine. Looks like this dealer is completely short on 3.5 EcoBoost. It's the number one selling by far. It's the fastest turning by far. Look at that understock situation. It's stocking at 59, stocking at 37, selling at 59. Now that might be a lot driven by commodities, and I'll touch on that commodity factor in a second here, but you can see the holes he's got in his colors that aren't represented, that are fast turning, like antimatter blue here. All the way down, you can see the data, wheelbase, right? Tow mirrors, chrome and black. Does it make sense to stock a chrome? Well, at this point, chromes are selling in 11 days compared to 40 days for black package. Now, of course, that's because no one wants to stock them. Well, if no one's stocking it, there's one in stock in that entire market. I'm not making a case that you're going to sell a lot of chrome trucks, but there's an argument, obviously, to stock a chrome package truck with an 11-day turn and only one in stock in that market. You'd probably have the next one that sells in 11 days. But obviously the volume is in the black package there, all the way down to individual options, moonroof, pro power, e-lock, and all that. So that's how that data works. The second part is the how to get it. That's kind of the struggle of dealers all over. Anyone that does ordering has that frustration. Scheduling notes say one thing, but my orders aren't previewing, and what really can schedule. We have the advantage. So we're doing about 10% of Ford's volume in the US and in Canada. And we look at preview data and we analyze that each week, Tuesday and Wednesday. We know what commodities are available each week. And we don't rely on those commodity notes, which are often just flat out wrong from Ford. And so we then close that gap on commodity knowledge. We know every combination of body, engine, and PEP, what is scheduling that week. And now we can go through and grab those units. If, again, that's something we want for the store. And we can get more of the hard to get commodities because we know when they're available, and not only when they're available, but how available they are. And sometimes, you don't have it shot for several weeks, and then all of a sudden it's open and wide open, and you need to get a bunch of something that's hard to get. And so by doing that and some other tricks that we do, which we can talk to you individually about in a presentation or a demo, we're able to get more of those tough to get commodities. So with the data, with that commodity knowledge and our intelligence, basically, of what's happening at the plant, we can get more of those good, faster turning, hard to get configurations. In the end, you get the best inventory in your market. You'll have the best inventory of any dealers that you're competing against, and you're going to get more trade calls. Most important thing is not trade calls, though, it's sales. And we're going to grow your business. We have a consistent year after year. We track our sales performance. Our dealers gain about a 14% year-over-year sales increase by switching over to us. So that's a quick summary. Hopefully that is of interest to you. Feel free to reach out. We will give contact information to Trevor, and we'd be happy to take you through your data, show you how we can influence what you're stocking, how we can get better, faster turning stuff to your lot to help you sell more cars. So look forward to talking to you, and enjoy your trip. See you.